Hey, I guess I should start talking. This morning, Mornings in the Lab with Keith and friends. Embrace those setbacks. How failure fuels future success. And we got a guest coming up today, Jeremy Thone, joining us. Mornings in the Lab with Keith and friends. Marty's here. Jimmy's here. Johnny's here. Hey, I'm Keith. I'm here too. See you guys shortly. Welcome to Mornings in the Lab where excuse
When something negative comes up.
Building muscle appeal, blood flow.
Nobody is expecting God.
If your lady's saying that, you're just
Being as a super
be entertained by fun over here.
How have I slept? Has my sleep been good? That is.
There we go. We're back at it. It's the Friday loop. You got Mornings in the Lab with Keith and friends. Jimmy's here. Johnny's here. Marty's here. You got Keith here as well. And Jeremy Thone's joining us here in a number of minutes in the lab. We're getting into how failure fuels future success. Listen, to have success, you got to fail first. True story. Yeah, once, twice, three times. Success doesn't happen instantly. For some of us, it might be, but often we got to embrace that failure first. Also coming up, we might dig into 7 of the very, very, very best male sex toys. And yes, I did say that. And the weirdest medical cases of 2024 we got on the agenda. And if we got some time, we're going to talk about 12 mindless habits that are secretly exhausting you as you go through your day. On the Friday loop on Mornings in the Lab, December 27. Jimmy, let's bring in the crew. Let's see what's going on with everybody at Business Athlete Nation here today. What's going on? Johnny, what's going on? Marty, how are you guys today?
What's going on?
What's happening, brother?
Oh, I'm awesome. I'm awesome.
We got off the air yesterday.
Yeah.
I just kind of hit me like a ton of bricks.
Uh-oh.
So we were talking about when you're having to use money to basically kind of position yourself for taxes. You said you bought a Tesla Roadster, correct?
Yes.
Which would have been like way in the beginning of Tesla. Like what year are we talking?
Oh, we're talking 2010, 2011. Good morning, Emerson. Yeah. So
Yeah.
Mike. Yeah.
So if you invested $250,000 in Tesla at that time, you would be probably sitting on $100 million.
Okay, Uncle Keith's out of here now. We'll see you later. Embracing setbacks.
I was missing a boat. I thought you were talking about just like a handful of years back, when you bought that Roadster.
No, I got one of. So as you know, or may not know, Johnny, they made 2,500 of those Roadsters, and he used.
You were the shit if you had one of those.
Yeah, exactly right. And he basically funded and bankrolled all of Tesla. Well, here's a business lesson, right? He's like, okay, let me find 2,500 early adopters to drop a couple $100,000 on this so I can bankroll the rest of Tesla. That's exactly what happened, right?
Yeah.
He found 2,500 people. Yeah, it is. He found 2,500 people to say, okay, I'm going to go. Because my car cost me a couple $100,000. He went and raised a bunch of money, proved a business case, proved that EVs didn't need to be boring and lame. They could be sexy and fun, and convinced a guy like me to drop one. And we wouldn't have I'll just make a statement. We wouldn't have Tesla today had I not opened my wallet. Simple as that. And a couple other thousand guys, girls.
And at that point, had you invested that $250,000, it would be like 100. It would be over 100 million today, something, wouldn't it? It was like crazy.
100%, Johnny. Yeah. I think so.
Yeah.
Because it's double, triple, quadrupled a few times.
Yeah.
Right? Yes. Yeah.
Oh yes. I mean, since then, it's just gone completely bananas.
The good news is that I was at my brother-in-law's. We were talking a couple days ago for Christmas, and he's like, "Hey, Keith, your Roadster sitting in the garage is going up in value." Because there's only a couple. One's on its way to Mars, right? And mine just sits wrapped up in the garage. Marty saw it wrapped up in the garage. It just sits there all wrapped up in saran wrap, and I don't drive it, Johnny. I just let it sit there. It needs a new battery, frankly. So I gotta spend a little bit of money on it. So
it'll appreciate, but not like the stock of Tesla.
Thank you, my brother from another mother. Thanks for the reminder.
Yeah, but think of it like this, bro. Think like this. something like that happened,
Yeah.
it would have been very cool, great story. But it would have like when something like that happens, it almost changes things so much. You're almost like fucking these. I've seen this happen to people where their financial position changes so drastically, they
Yeah.
almost completely lose the fucking purpose of what they're here for. You know?
You know what, pal? Let's get into that for a moment here. And ABC Musk's a scam artist. Well, interesting perspective per se. You know, Johnny, it's interesting to hear you say it because I often wonder, had my paths been a little bit differently, I've often wondered where I would have ended up. And I don't know, as I sit in front of you two guys right now, if it would have ended up in a good position. Just knowing kind of where and how, and maybe, John, you can relate a little bit, but I'm...
Oh, shit.
Yeah, Marty, I'll tell you, I don't mind we all go in different paths, right? And sometimes, you know, the choices and decisions we make obviously they have impact, and yeah, I can imagine that. Fuck, who knows? I might have been in jail, might have been dead.
Well, you know what it is, brothers, that people don't prepare themselves for this type of success.
That's true. It's just true.
In my plan, I've got all different levels of where I'll end up, and at this level, I'm going to do this. At this level, I'm going to do that. So there's a lot of premeditation, depending on how far my journey goes financially, because I don't want to be one of those guys who gets completely stripped of his purpose and lost because all of a sudden I've got a whole new financial status or foundation, whatever you want to call it. You know,
I'm glad you talked about that because I can't, for somebody who's been through it and gone through it and been a part of it, I can't really emphasize how much purpose is important. Because I'm also going to be the first person to admit, Johnny and Marty, I will say that I lost perspective of the value of money. True, I did. Because when you're just always carrying around hundreds or just always carrying around, there's just always money there. I see how you quickly can lose sight of the value of it when it's just you just use the Visa, right, Johnny?
100%.
I wasn't raised that way, so all of a sudden when it's presented to you, I had to learn how to. And then as I've gone through like my situation the last few years, like in many ways, I'm largely not semi-retired. I'm working again, but I'm gone is the guaranteed paycheck that I had, and gone is the equity from the business, right? So things are different now, right? So it's an eye opener when you got to reconcile what the value of money is, John and Marty, especially if you go from not having any to all of a sudden having a bunch of it.
Well, where I went through kind of my first stage of that was not that I had too much.
Yeah.
It's the fact that I realized that I could create money pretty much whenever I wanted to.
Yeah. Yes.
And I was like, it was not this thing. Well, oh my God, I got this little bit. I better hold it really close. It was like, okay, here's this chunk.
Yes.
I'm gonna go use it here because there's another one coming. And if there's another one coming, I'll just adjust and make a bigger chunk come.
Yes.
And then the people around you that are in that scarcity mindset, they think that you're just lost your fucking mind, like you have no respect for money. No. I just realized that money is something that comes through my life, and I can speed up or slow down the flow.
Well, it's interesting, John, because I believe I feel the exact same way. Like I have my confidence in my own mirror to make money. I don't even question it. So and probably you're the same way, Marty. You might even be the same way, which is, I'm gonna go spend this $1 because I know I'm gonna go make $2 tomorrow. Like I don't even doubt my belief in my ability to make money, and maybe that's sometimes a fault for some of us. But I'm with you, Johnny, because when you have that mindset, unfortunately, what can also happen is you're quick to spend it too, because you're just gonna go make more of it, right? So, and not everybody's that way, as we know, right? So
that was me when I was younger, man.
Yeah,
I mean, I knew that I could just. It was like I knew that I could get more. I knew I could create more. It was like, well, shit, I got this big chunk. Let's go have some fun.
Yeah. Yeah. So, boys, I got to confess something to you guys today that I'm actually quite proud of, and I think you guys are going to appreciate what I'm going to say next. So, because I think our audience will appreciate what I'm going to say next as well. Marty, Johnny, I had a 45-minute run scheduled today. It's Friday, as we know, and I did not want to do the run. And as we know, because I fucking hate it, I wasn't going to do the run. I'm like, no, I'm not doing the 45-minute run. Instead, I did a 30 and a 20. I did 50 minutes.
There you go, baby. There you go.
Still
right?
So what was the strategy to get started? Was it like, in my case, what I'll do is I'll say, I don't want to do this, so I'm just going to go for a minute. And at sometime before the end of the minute, if I want to do another minute, I'll do another one. Next thing you know, these are the times that all of a sudden I'm fucking 200 minutes deep, and I'm like, holy Christ, this shit works.
Brother, so appreciative you saying that. Because one thing I like about the Peloton platform is the way they display their content. You got a 5-minute piece, a 10-minute piece, a 20-minute piece, 15-minute piece. So I got my content in front of me. I got the clock up on the wall. And I'm like, okay, I don't want to do 45 minutes, but I know I can do 30. And then I know once I'm into 30, I know that I'm going to feel guilty enough, Johnny, that I haven't hit my 45, Marty, that I'm going to pick another one. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm not. So if I can get through 30, there's no reason I can't get through another 15 or 20. But then if I hit 15, I've only hit what I've set up to do in the morning. I know I could do an extra 5, Johnny, to ask a strategy question. So I said, okay, I'll do 20, because I knew that if I did 50, in my head, I'm like, I'm excited to tell the boys the story this morning, because in my mind, I had to do 45. I didn't want to do 30, but to your point, I'm like, okay, if I can just start with 30, I can get 30 done. And often, John, if I got to do yoga, I'm like, I don't do yoga right now. I got to do 30 minutes of yoga. Well, next thing you know, you do 6 sessions of 5 minutes. You got 30 minutes done. Like, so to your point of crushing a minute, and then because you know your brain and you know how you feel, you're like, well, fuck, I've done this for a minute. There's no reason I can't do it for 29 more.
Yeah. And that's the thing. There are many days where that minute is what allows me to step forward quite easily. Yes. If there was even a 0 behind it, if I'm thinking 10 minutes, I'm like, oh, fuck, man.
Well, you know what happens?
I don't like that little pause, the oh, fuck. I don't like that. I like the step. Yeah.
Well, you know what happens for me, John and Marty, is when I'm looking at the clock. So again, my content is here. The clock's up on the wall there. I go, okay, so if I run now, it's 5:30. I'm done by 6 o'clock. My show doesn't start for another hour. I really got another 50 minutes. I can do this. So why wouldn't I? And then I say to myself, okay, I look at my day and I'm like, okay, a lot of my day is going to be largely sitting. A lot of my day is going to be largely sedentary. A lot of my day is going to be largely not moving. Why the fuck am I not moving now? If I'm going to go for 6 hours later today, there's no reason I can't move for an hour right now.
This is so, because you're creating reasons why you should.
Yes.
Rather than reasons why you shouldn't.
Yeah.
And all it comes down to, what we think about is what we get more of.
Well, because Johnny, I looked at the calendar today. Sorry, Marty. And I'm like, okay, so I see Lauren and Brooke here out tonight. So they're going to be out till probably 9, 10 o'clock tonight. So I'm going to be largely on my own. So I'm going to get a lot of chance to work and hang out with the dogs today. Well, fuck it. I'm going to go and train right now because I'm going to have a lot of relaxing sedentary time. There's no reason I can't bank these calories or bank these minutes in myself. That's kind of how I look at it. Marty.
Yeah, I was going to say pretty much it's crazy. Humans fascinate me, right? We'll find a reason to do something or to not do something, no matter how extreme it is.
Yes.
So if you want to find a reason to smoke crack, you can convince yourself to find a reason to smoke crack.
Yes, 100%.
Or shoot up some heroin.
Yes.
But people struggle to or drink alcohol or eat the sweets or whatever, but people have trouble finding reasons to do productive things that are going to help them in the future. It's just crazy how the human brain works. So
it absolutely is. Good morning, Woodhams. Good to see you here, brother.
What's up, Woodhams? But yeah, it's just crazy, man. So I got to give you some credit there, Keith, because you can use that power to negative things. Yeah.
Well, because I know how I am. And I know, and again, we talk about being neurotic and the power of neurosis. I know that if I didn't check those boxes this morning, and I think you guys are the same way, it eats at me through the whole day.
Yep.
It just eats at me because I'm like, why did I make that stupid decision at 5:30 when I could have did the extra 5 minutes of a run? Right. So, because there's actually no reason why I can't. So that's
and the thing about it, when you strip it down to the most basic philosophy, choose to do hard things.
Yes.
Your life will get really fucking good.
Yes.
Or you choose to do the easy shit and your life will be really fucking bad.
Yeah, exactly. Good morning, Dugan. I didn't see you here on the horizontal feed. Good morning, brother. Good to have you here, man. It was so Dugan's got it was great. It's been too long in the holidays, and Jack's got his new job here. He's been rocking and rolling here, and good to see you there in the feed, Mr. Dugan. Hope you're doing well. Hope you had a great break. Hope you're staying up with your activity. Listen, boys, Jack has a new job, right? And we know that when we go through new jobs and new habits and new things, routines change. So Dugan, we're behind you to make sure you're still getting your ass out of bed and get going. And just like we were talking with little Brookie last night, if we make a decision that doesn't make us feel good today, there's no reason we can't make another one tomorrow that resets ourselves. So good to see you here, Dugan, in the comments. And what else we got here? We got Woodhams here with the comments saying, if you got ADHD, it's the addictive traits, more dopamine because the brain tells us we need it. Well, and he's right? Because I know that, again, back to my 45-minute example this morning, if I would have just did 45, I would have just hit what I expected to do, and I would not have had the ability to tell this story. So I'm like, hey, wait a minute, this is content. I can go an extra 5 minutes. I can say what my brain was thinking, and off we go. And Bob's your uncle.
Just
right?
a little purpose, and the whole fucking thing changed.
Yeah, right.
That's fucking thin purpose. I want to tell a story that I did a few more minutes, so I'm going to do a few more minutes. If that's what it takes, I can do it.
Yeah. That's so true. That's so true. All right, Jimmy, let's get to the accountability check before you give me shit.
I'm going to be a few moments late coming back from the accountability check-in, but I'm coming back.
All right, brother. You go do just
late. I got to run outside real quick. Yep.
All right. Oh, Marty's going outside. He's going to do a deal.
Hey.
Yeah, making some cash.
All right. See you on a little bit, man.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's do this, Jimmy. You want to know the ultimate competitive edge? Woo, baby, this is a good one. It's fluffier than you think. Oh, yeah, it's woohoo. It's way fluffy. It's fluffier than you can. This is glasses off fluffy. The ultimate competitive edge, nation? Oh, yeah, it's kindness. Yeah, true story. Not just because it tells people you're not an asshole. Now, I said it. I just said that word right now. But it's because it gets results. Kindness will absolutely always get you results. People don't follow, trust, or buy from you because, it's because they want to feel respected. Kindness shows that human over there that you care about them. And care, what does it do? Well, it builds trust. Trust ensures better deals, stronger relationships, and a team that actually wants to show up. Yeah. So here's how to make kindness for you. Listen. Just listen like you mean it. Don't interrupt. Don't half listen. Make them feel heard. I'm telling you, it's rare. It's hard to find somebody who's going to lean in and listen to you all the time. But when you find it, lean into it. And then assume that positive intent. Instead of jumping to conclusions, ask questions. It shows you're open, you're fair, and you're willing to understand. Be specific in how you show up. Because I'm going to tell you right now, empty gestures, they don't count, baby. No way. Offer real help. Share a resource. Or just check in with that human over there when others won't. Listen, the world thinks that kindness is fluffy. Not here in the lab. No, baby. The truth? Here's the truth. Kindness is fucking smart. Yep. If you want to get ahead, don't just outwork people. No way, baby. Outcare for them. That's your competitive edge. Kindness. Mornings in the lab with Keith and friends. There we go. Yes, I love kindness. That's just how you move forward with things, man. Hey, good morning, Shelly Spence. Good to see you there in the lab, in the feeds. Good to have you in the comments. We have Jeremy Thone joining us here in a number of moments here this morning on the show. We're going to bring Johnny back here. So, Johnny, I found some fun. I found some fun topics for some conversation this morning that I wanted to throw on the table. And I knew I always think of you and I when I find this crazy shit, man. And I got to tell you, man, this one. So let's do this. The weirdest medical cases of 2024. And brother, there is some crazy ones happening here. Jimmy, I'm going to give you the link here that you can pop into the horizontal feed as well, because we're going to put it up on the screen. It's coming to you, Jimmy. There it is there. So, man, I don't even know where to start with these ones because these are pretty damn funny, man. As we know, as we go through the year, we get a chance to do all these, weird things, fun things, recaps, of course. And I thought we'd have some fun with this one because it's just a good way to start our day and have some coffee and get into it. So, hey, the first one, the most vaccinated man in the world, Johnny. In March, scientists in Germany published a study showcasing a man who claimed to have received over 200 COVID-19 vaccinations over the course of 2 years.
Jesus Christ. Holy shit. I don't give a damn what kind of vaccination it is. 200 vaccinations of any kind. That's a lot of weird shit floating around the body.
That's a lot of weird shit throwing into your body, man. Just constant, just throwing shit in. The researchers found no sign.
I saw this thing. I don't remember. It was very loose when I say this, but there was some sort of a study that showed human history before and health, before and after they started using vaccines of any type, and all of these fucking weird diseases started popping up post vaccination. Like Down syndrome was one of them that just skyrocketed.
Yeah, unbelievable. Next one was losing your guts. 2 separate cases of people literally busting out their guts made waves this year. In one case, published in May, a 63-year-old man, Johnny, sneezed and coughed his guts via a recent surgical site involving his abdomen. The man's breakfast and shirt was ruined, but paramedics were able to safely get him to hospital, and he recovered with no issues. So
hold on. So he literally like coughed his stomach outside of his fucking body onto his shirt.
Yeah, like his sutures broke out, and he coughed, and his gut broke open and spilled out all over his shirt.
How did we get here?
You know him. He's got a bunch of weird shit to throw on the table.
Was accountability when I left. Now people coughing their stomach.
You were out making money, Marty.
You came back to. Let's talk about some weird shit.
And then the other case in January 2024 involved a 52-year-old. So earlier this year, a 52-year-old woman whose COVID-induced cough caused her guts to spill out from an old hernia repair surgery site. She was hospitalized, but her guts were successfully put back in as well. Man, abdominal surgeries are risky because if you have some issues, you could actually cough your guts out.
Yeah, I've had a couple of hernias now for decades.
I imagine you would, For sure you would have, yes.
Yeah. And I haven't had one of them fixed. I mean, once they get to the point where shit comes out, like one of them is it's getting close. Like when I squat on a deadlift, I have to wear the belt buckle to the side because that little space where the buckle is actually creates, space, if you will, where there's no pressure flat on the hernia. So if I put the buckle aside, the belt goes flat over the hernia. But this little son of a bitch, sometimes I got to push it back in there. But it's a little hole.
Oh my God.
So,
Johnny, help educate me a little bit on this. So, and to put people to pay attention. So you've, when it happened, like when you got your first hernia, what happened? Like, how did you know how did you feel it? Did you go to the hospital? Like what take me through the situation.
At first I just had my shirt off and I was, kind of getting ready. And I was like, I did something, speaking of coughing, I did something where my abs flexed.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck is that weird bump sticking out?
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, these things have happened to me under severe load, like when I'm training, like competing. So I don't really feel them happen, so to speak. I just know afterwards, like, what the fuck's that weird feeling? And so I have one of them that's like like if I do a sit up, right?
Yes.
My stomach will it'll like turn into like a teepee.
Really?
Because yeah. And then there's another one I have a total of 3. So I have one kind of in the upper abdomen, like I just supplied. Another one down just below the belly button. That's the one where little shit will push out. I just push it back in. And then there's one down, like way down low, like down by kind of like my, I guess you'd call it like pelvic, like lower abdomen. That one's painful. When that one flares up, that one hurts, but this is just kind of part of, this is what happens. This is just part of the fucking deal. So you just got to, for me, I just keep an eye on, because if shit comes out of there, I can't push it back in and it won't stay in there, then it's time to get it fixed. It's close.
Really, eh?
The surgery is they put a piece of mesh in there. Is what they do. And so, I don't like having foreign shit in me, so I will avoid it at all costs. But when it's time, it's time.
Yeah. Does it cause you discomfort throughout like day-to-day basis, or you know enough about it, you just manage them?
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, fuck, you got a fucking headache? Do you cry about a headache?
No. Yeah. I get you. Yeah. Okay. So
I've had some concussions. So, headaches is part of my deal. Am I going to sit around bellyache about that shit? No. It's going to handle my business.
How to manage it.
It's funny to hear you say that. Is you sound like my dad that way. In many ways, myself, or even now my son, right? Which is, oh, you got a limp? Yeah, my knee's up. Oh, is it okay? Well, just it is what it is, right? And it's funny because my dad is very much just. Got a headache. What am I going to do? Sit here and cry about it, or he had gout in his foot, and he's a fucking tough motherfucker. But he's just like, it is what it is. Like he's got what are you going to do, right?
Yeah,
absolutely.
It's fucking crazy. Funny. So, kind of on a funny side note of this. So, I had a guy on my team a few years ago.
Yes.
And, so when I'm bringing someone full bore, what I'll do is I'll fly them out so I can actually, because rarely is my team close by. They're all over the world.
Yes.
I'll fly them out so I can get a feel for them in person. This is a real cool kid right out of college, but not been exposed to much of my lifestyle. And I had basically, he was here, he was staying in the guest house, and I had taken a shower and I'd nicked the back of my head, with my razor. So I had a thing of blood dripping down the back of my head into my neck. No fucking clue, right? And so I walked out and I was talking to him, and I turned to walk away, and he's like, "Oh my God, don't move." I was like, what the fuck, I'm thinking like there's some sort of some crazy fucking spider coming up to see. I don't know what the fuck this kid's talking about. So, you're bleeding. You're bleeding. And I originally just relaxed. He's all, "No, don't move." I said, "Dude, what's the problem?" The littlest things, they're just not accustomed to seeing shit like that. They react. And that's the general public.
Most of the world. That's most of the world, man. I feel you on that, because I don't have Johnny's lifestyle, but I didn't do wrestling and bodybuilding, but playing sports, I get shit all the time, so a lot of times my mind will be like, I pop a pimple and like I'll be bleeding. People be like, "Oh my God, you're bleeding." So I understand, Johnny. I'm right there with you.
And because then you turbocharge that and you go into these situations. Like I can remember multiple occasions where I had pulled a groin. You know how that feels in a competition.
Yes.
And you don't pull out of that competition. You just wrap that motherfucker tight. And then I remember I can't remember where I was, but it was somewhere in Europe, and I'm pulled a groin. My next event was a squat. I was like, "Oh my God, this is gonna hurt, man."
Jesus.
But it's pain.
Yeah.
Take them pain pills, put some Bengay on it.
Oh yeah, brother. Absolutely. In that world, they put you in the fucking, keep in mind they're filming this for TV. They put you with the medics, and the medic gets you feeling okay before you go back out there,
Yeah.
But the bottom line is this is just the world. This is the world you choose to live in.
That's right.
And I mean, I pulled my bicep loose by 3 minutes into a 15-minute wrestling match. I finished the fucking match. Bicep completely tore off.
I have nothing but respect for wrestlers, man. Marty, I know you're the same way. What you guys, Johnny, would you and the boys that do that for a living, put your bodies through for the sake of entertainment and getting a pop and making some cash. Pardon my language, unfucking believable, right? Which is because I was gonna say they're such good actors too that you don't know they might be up there fucked up and they're playing it off because they're a great actor on top of a performer. So it's fucking crazy. Yeah. It's so I'll never forget when Shane O'Mac jumps off that cage at WrestleMania, and you got to think in his head, he's thinking, okay, I'm not going to die. I might get hurt, but I'm not going to die. And in many ways, John, that's got to be the mindset, right? Which is, okay, I might hurt myself, fall into the table, but I'm not going to die. So I'm going to do this.
Well, you've done so many difficult things up to that point.
Yes.
You look at these things that are really dangerous as kind of a risk versus reward, like you're saying.
Yes.
And you realize this is what you signed up for.
Right.
Now, granted, there's going to be certain situations where you might decline, but very rarely, and only if you're declining, only because you're putting something else on the table that will work even better that you're more comfortable with. Right. It's a rough world. There's no question about it, because here's the thing. If you won't do it, There's a line of 1,000 dudes behind you that will.
And that's the thing, right? Is that if you don't do it, you're like, all right, Anderson, you won't do it. That guy's going to do it. And you're like, holy fuck. So talk about a world of peer pressure, right? You kind of, and if you want to make bank, right? There's three of us on the call here. If I'm not going to do it, well, there's the odds are that one of you two might do it, and all of a sudden I'm not making bank, right? And that's just how the world works, right?
But to get to that level, it's just you just see things differently.
Yes,
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You don't see like, you're always hurt, not injured, but sometimes even injured, and you're going through it. But you just realize this is kind of what you signed up for. If you're, if you choose to fucking shovel shit for a living, are you going to be upset when you got some crap on your boots?
No, real shit. And that mindset right there is the same as sports. And I use it in the same as content creation. Like, if you ain't posting content, it's a hungry motherfucker out there who's posting content, and they going to have eyes on him and support his business, and they're not going to be supporting yours. So, like, that's just a killer mindset that you got to have if you want to get to the next level. So, definitely respect
because there's always somebody else right behind you, Marty, who's going to do it if you don't. Always. Right? It's like we joke about our girls, right? If you're not taking care of your girl, Marty, who is? Your trainer or the guy in the DMs, right, Marty? Right? If you're not taking care of the girl, Marty is, or is the guy in the DM that's going to take care of your girl. So basically, take care of your girl. It's true story, Marty. You know as well as I do it is.
Hey, man.
On that note, we're going to get Marty's fit tip, and we're going to come back. We're going to keep the conversation going. We're having a light and fun here today, embracing setbacks. I got some fun conversation to keep it going. Marty, let's keep rocking, bro.
Hey, Keith, you gotta let me tell some relationship stories, not of me, but just stuff that people have told me over the years of being a trainer. Anyway, let's get to the fitness tip. All right, before I get carried away. Simple tip, man, and this applies to other areas than just fitness. You got to learn how to evaluate your effort. All right, so let's keep it real. You know you bullshitting. You know you're not giving 110%, 120%, 150%. You know that. And the issue is people aren't honest with themselves, and they know they're not giving 100%. So you can go to the gym. You can lift heavier. You can run your mile faster. You can put more effort in, right? So don't complain about the results that you're not getting if you're not even putting in 100%. Even if you have 20 minutes to work out, even if you have 30 minutes to work out, you go in there with a high intensity and give it everything you got. You might not have an hour every day, right? You might have left your lunch at home. That doesn't mean you go to Jack in the Box or Chick-fil-A, right? You got to stay on a meal plan. So stop half-assing, because if you half-ass, you're going to get half-ass results, all right? So learn to evaluate your effort, and if you're not giving 100%, first, acknowledge it, be honest with yourself, and turn it up a notch, all right? So find out what you need to do for your mindset, find out your routine, find out your process, so you can get up and give 100% and keep this thing going and get the results you want and hit your goals. That's the fitness tip for today.
There you go. It's all about mindset. It all begins up here. All begins up here. It's about choices, isn't it, Marty? It's all about choices.
It's all about choices. We're in 100% in control, man. 100%.
Speaking of choices, young ladies hang out with trainers, young men hang out with female trainers, and shit happens, eh, Marty?
Oh, man.
Tell us a good story here this morning.
Yeah. It's just crazy because, like, I was actually talking to one of my clients about this today. Like, a lot of girls. So I had it set up where, like, you do a Zoom call with me for, like, you figure out your goals. I come up with a little plan for you. Try to sell them. Try to get them to buy my training. And a lot of girls, they get on there just to like flirt and just to get my attention, and they be bullshitting. So it's just like, a lot of girls do a lot of weird shit with trainers, and guys get the bad rap of being creeps, but a lot of girls be creeps too. So
Well,
you know,
and
I ain't gonna get into it too much, but I got a lot of stories about that shit. So
I'm suspecting, because of the vulnerability of the situation, when you're giving some attention to somebody who maybe is not feeling good about themselves, or who is moving through a journey of feeling bad about themselves, and then working with you, and they start feeling good about themselves. Vulnerabilities open up, and emotions get involved, and not even just romantic involved, but just feelings start happening. Hey, Marty, just shit starts just kind of coming together, right? Because now this female is. Go ahead, John.
Every once in a while, somebody just decides that they want to drink the milk and not feed the cow.
Yeah.
What the fuck? What the fuck?
I mean, is that the fucking case or what? Come on.
That's good.
You know,
I've never heard that phrase, bro.
You can have a sip. You can have a sip, but you want to drink, you got to feed the cow now. Come on.
Yeah, well, there's something to be said for that. You got to feed the cow, Marty. So, Marty, you are. Yeah, that's it. So, Marty,
I say this though, real quick. You got to be a certain type of man to be able to turn that down and say no, and keep it professional.
Oh, for sure you do. Yeah, so, for sure you'd have.
That's part of the reason we get a bad rap, because guys don't know how to say no.
My older brother came to me when I was younger. He's a stud. He was actually a professional tennis player for a while.
Oh yeah,
he understood. And like Boris Becker, everybody remembers that name. Boris Becker is the one who retired my brother. My brother got beat by him the year before he won Wimbledon. He goes, this 15-year-old kid just whipped me. He goes, that's time for me to retire. And then when he won Wimbledon the next year, he was like, thank God, I don't feel so bad anymore. But when he came to me and he said, look, he said, and forgive the language here, but I'm just going to be frank. He said, listen, you got to just go get the fucking out of your system. Go do it.
Oh, wow.
Because if you don't, it's going to cause you a lot of problems. Yeah. And, the better you do with what you're doing, the more opportunity you're going to have. And if you don't feel like you've basically gone and used that opportunity to some extent, it's always going to eat you up in the back of your mind, and you're going to find the right one. And that little fucking voice won't leave you alone. So go get your fucking out of the way.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. There's something to be said for that, right?
Solid advice.
Go get it out of your system. Yeah, go get it out of your system.
Wait, because mentally, it's like, okay, you're making a choice. Like, I'm choosing to do that, or yes. I'm going to choose to be with a person. I'm going to not do that. So there's some clarity there.
Yes. Oh, yeah. I got to think, Marty, when you as the trainer who makes the decision not difficulty to sleep with the client, or like, as difficult as it is, the respect-o-meter that you gain from the client over time. Short term, she's like, what the fuck, man? Why doesn't the guy want to sleep with me? But over time, I have to think that the respect-o-meter goes through the roof, which in many ways puts you in a better light than you were if you would sleep with the client on day one.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And when you're in a business like training, which, I don't want to do full-time personal training forever.
Yeah.
But you develop a reputation, and people spread the word of mouth.
Yes.
Right. That's the best marketing right there. And so a lot of times, if you end up in a situation where you do say yes and fall into the lust, that's not going to help you in the future at all.
Well, no, because it's going to go to somebody else, right? It's going to, and then the next thing you know, it's going to be, Marty just sleeps with all his clients.
Yeah, they're not getting you more clients, so they're not. It's not going to result in anything. So,
flip side, man, I had a buddy of mine. And, he was Brazilian, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. God rest his soul. He's passed.
Like Tom Brady, wife trainer.
What's that?
Like Tom Brady's wife's trainer.
I don't.
He was Brazilian. Oh, right, never mind. You don't get it. I think Keith gets it though.
Yeah. Go on.
Good, buddy. They're sexual liberated culture, dude. Yes. And I swear to God, this dude was tagging all of his female clients, and they were lining up to get a piece of the action. So for him, he's like, and he was one of them dudes where, he felt like he was doing, some female that was having trouble getting asked a service. So he didn't see it like, oh, this is nasty. He was getting paid from every angle, and he loved every second of it, and so he went so deep to that. He went so deep to that side of the equation that he had a whole, I mean, we're talking, wealthy, I mean, they're older ladies, wealthy older ladies lining up to train with this dude because they knew that there was a second element to this whole ordeal.
And see, that's as a man, like I don't want that to be my reputation. I don't want that to be the reason I'm getting clients. Then on top of that, you dealing with older women. A lot of them women are married. And listen, don't get caught because there's a lot of stories about guys catching their wives cheating, and that's the end of your life, brother. A lot of guys don't play about their wives, man. So I would be careful with that.
I saw a post.
He was one of those dudes that was literally making money to send home to his family in Brazil. So his purpose was deep. You know what I mean? It was
different purpose. Yeah. Hey, do what you got to do, brother.
Yeah, he was, but he turned that into a fucking business, boy. I mean, it was like it was almost like some like borderline fucking prostitution, man.
I saw a funny post on one of the platforms yesterday where a lady's like, "Yeah, I found my husband cheating on me, and I located the woman that he's cheating with on Instagram. So I contacted her husband, and we're gonna go have dinner next to the table where he and his girlfriend are having dinner tonight at the restaurant." So essentially, it would be like, me cheating on Lauren and the person I'm cheating with finding out who, and then we're going to be at the same restaurant sitting next to them and can just fuck right up.
Who has time for that?
I know.
Who has time for that, man?
It's ridiculous. Come on, man. Actually, hey, just in case you were wondering, boys, hairballs. You guys have cats? Johnny, have you ever had a cat? I know you're a dog guy. Have you ever had a cat, Johnny?
Yeah.
You have had a cat, eh? Yeah. Marty, you cats or just dogs or no animals for you?
The dog guy.
Yeah, dog guy. So
yeah,
hairballs aren't just for cats. In July of this year, surgeons from Ecuador, boys, reported pulling out a 2-pound hairball from a young woman's stomach. Doctors in Massachusetts.
You were going to say something else.
Doctors in Massachusetts reporting treating their own hairball cases past November involving a 16-year-old girl who experienced weeks of worsening stomach pains. She had been essentially just consuming hair, and it caused a big ball in her gut.
Yeah. I was going to say, what in the hell was she doing to get that much hair in her stomach? Was she just like licking her cat around the clock?
It's there's some psychological situations that humans have, which is to pull and eat one's own hair. So it's your own hair, Johnny. So
it's her own hair. Yeah, no, yeah, I know that condition. I know exactly. I know someone with that condition. They can't stop.
Yeah, they pull, and they eat it. So she was pulling her own hair and then eating it. And
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, so as we know, Marty, some people have like self-harm, like cutting issues, when some people have obviously
glitchy shit, dude. There's some glitchy shit going on with that one for sure.
Yeah. Hey, listen, here's the crazy one. In October of this year, doctors in the UK reported a medical marvel that doubles for a great bar story. A man with not one, not two. Yeah. 3 penises. You heard it here, folks, guys. 3 penises. Perhaps the most amazing detail about this case is that the man himself may have never known about his unique anatomy. The man's extra genitalia were inside his body, and his external penis appeared and functioned normally. They only discovered this after he died, and they donated his body to science recovery. So it was not until they actually checked out his cadaver that they didn't realize that the guy had 3 penises.
Where were the other 2?
Inside his body.
Well, I know that, but where in there? Inside his first shaft? Was there another one? Was there like one inside the other? Was there one hanging down in his nutsack? I mean, where was the other one?
It doesn't.
The other 2.
It doesn't say. It just says it was inside of his sack.
I wonder if he had high testosterone.
You wonder. Yeah, you wonder. Hey, in March, doctors in Florida reported a man whose months of severe and frequent headaches, we're talking about headaches, was caused by a parasitic brain invader called the pork tapeworm. This guy had a massive tapeworm growing on his brain that they couldn't find out what it was, and it was caused by what's this? It was in this particular case, the man may have caught a typical tapeworm infection from eating undercooked bacon.
Well, and brother, this is why I talk about fucking using organic pork, man. Organic animals
Pork
don't
chops.
have this fucking weird shit.
Yeah, well, yeah, isn't there? Yeah, just eat good food, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's that animal that's got this fucking worm and all this weird shit that he's passing through. It's because he's been eating garbage his whole fucking life.
This is a fucking crazy one, and this one comes from Canada. Some stories aren't bad. I'm sorry, some stories they just start bad, but then they get actually quite worse. In January of this year, doctors in Canada described a man in his 70s. So Johnny, just a couple years, in front of us here, who was bitten by a rat that got into his toilet bowl. The man subsequently contracted a life-threatening infection from the bite that sent him to the intensive care unit. The rat had given the man the bacterial disease leptospirosis, which made the case even stranger since his bacteria are typically found only in rat urine and not saliva. As the doctors can tell, the rat may have first contaminated its own mouth with urine before biting the man. So what they're thinking.
My first thought is you're sitting on the toilet. What's the lowest thing hanging in the fucking toilet for that rat to bite? He's biting your fucking nutsack. That's what I'm thinking. Holy shit,
man.
and then here's one reason to limit your day drinking. I know some of us like to go to Vegas and places and do some day drinking. I've done some of my time, but I haven't had a drink in a long time, so I'm past that phase. But doctors detailed a strange case of phytopodomatus, aka Lyme disease, aka margarita bun. The man developed nasty rashes and blisters on his hands a day after he had manually juiced limes and spent the day outside watching soccer. So essentially, he spent this whole day with limes on his hands. And we're not talking about Lyme disease like Lyme disease, but he causes disease on his hands from rubbing limes nonstop for hours, and he got all these nasty rashes and blisters all over his. It is weird, actually. It's
must not have been organic. It must not have been organic.
I would assume it's got to do with the high level of acid.
I would think so too, Johnny. Yeah.
Sure.
And the last one here before we go to the lifestyle tip with Johnny here, I think we did talk about this one a number of weeks ago, but the great eel escape, right? This one here is in July, doctors in Vietnam pulled out a 2-foot eel from a man's intestines after he inserted the eel in his ass. Though that wasn't before the eel had started to chew through his guts. So as we know, we talked about the story before. The guy was experiencing some stomach pain. Didn't know what the problem was, so he went to the doctor, and the doctor said, "Well, buddy, you
experiencing some fucking serious head pain. That's why I stuck that thing in his ass to begin with."
Exactly. And so they're like, "Dude,
Jesus Christ, was this the same guy that had the fucking tapeworm from the pork?"
Yeah, well, and the thing is though, is that the problem with the guy with the eel up his ass is that he stuck a lemon in the back end of his asshole so the eel wouldn't get out. So he stuck the eel in, stuck the lemon in so that it wouldn't get out, and then he wondered why he had a stomach ache. And as a result of the stomach ache, the doctors found that he had an eel stuck in his ass. So
I just saw a girl. They had to get a medical team. They pulled a cucumber out of hers. Yeah. Like a big ass cucumber. Yeah.
Just go find a new personal trainer. Leave the cucumber aside.
Wow. A Brazilian one.
Johnny, get after it, brother. We're going to come back and keep the show going with the lifestyle tip of the day. From eels up the asses, Johnny Anderson's lifestyle tip, only on Mornings in the Lab. Johnny?
2025 is almost here, and just about everybody has these grand plans of what they want to do, whether it's goals with your body, goals with your relationship, goals with your money, whatever it is. Here's what you got to remember. You are going to get more of what you think about. So if you're thinking about reasons why you shouldn't eat right today, you're going to find the reasons you need to not eat properly today. If you're looking for reasons why you shouldn't go to the gym, you're going to find reasons why you shouldn't go to the gym. So be careful what you think about, because you are going to get more of what you think about.
Oh, I like that. Think about what you want instead of what you don't want. You're always going to get that. Hey, B2 Wavy. Good to have you here in the comments. I invite you to subscribe to the channel, like the channel. This is the only morning show to get your ass out of bed. Mornings Alive with Keith and friends. I'm Keith. That's Johnny over there. That's Marty over there. Producer Jimmy and producer Walter. Tommy, you're over on the buttons behind the scenes. We create great content to help you guys get moving. We just spent the last 50 minutes reviewing some crazy medical stories that have excited us all across the world here. I just saw Dugan. I saw your 2025 is going to be amazing. So Johnny, I was talking with Melissa yesterday about some of our content strategies for 2025. And I said to her that we are purposely, I think you're going to preach this, Johnny. We are purposely not going to celebrate or discuss or invite people to have a New Year's resolution. And we are purposely not going to invite anybody to start thinking about January as a new start. We are very much going to take a different point of view on this show, just like Marty and I did in June with January, which is telling people that you're actually not, there's no such thing as a resolution. It's just a loop. Because if we get into this mindset of January ends in December and restarts in January, then we always have a beginning and an end. And we're always thinking about, okay, I got to lose 20 pounds for my wedding, or I got to lose 10 pounds for my vacation, or I got to lose 30 pounds in the next 100 days. No, fuck all of the challenges, fuck all the time frames, fuck all the start and the ends. And we want you all to start living the loop. There is no beginning. There is no end. It just restarts again. And if you can get that mindset, you're never going to have an ending. So we're not going to talk about resolutions. We're not going to talk about, we're starting everything January 1st. No, look, start right now. Like, what are you waiting for, frankly?
Well, when you have a starting time and a date that is anything other than right fucking now, right fucking here,
yes,
you're wasting your life. You're wasting time.
Yes.
And people say, oh, no, I just want to relax. I want to, then that's your choice. Go relax. But you're going to relax yourself right into the life you're not looking for.
Yes.
And you guys worse.
Yes. Yes.
You're getting worse. You're getting fatter.
Yeah. Well, because you keep making those decisions, right?
Yeah.
Speaking of decisions, I got to tell you guys a really fun thing happening right now in my world, in my family's world, in Lauren's world. So Marty, you're gonna love this one because you've met her. So last week, Brookie goes and has some dinner with Sarvina and the gang, and learning about food and cultures, and learning about folks that don't eat meat. So Brookie decided before Christmas that she's vegan. So at my mom and dad's, at her grandparents yesterday, all the food, nope, I'm vegan. Wasn't having meatballs, wasn't having none of the turkey. And she's like, I'm only eating vegetables. Man. It's funny, man. So we're talking to her about and this little 8-year-old, like, just on her principles about her decisions. So yesterday we were talking about, okay, Brooke, so over 7 days, you might have 3 meals in a day, and that's 21 meals in a week. Like, if you choose to have meat one day, that's okay. You got 20 meals. You don't have to. And we weren't trying to encourage her not to or to have. I was really impressed with her position around values. She's like, she bit into a cabbage roll. She looks at me. She goes, Keith, you told me there's no meat in this and there's bacon in here. I'm like, no, I didn't know. It's actually tomato. But she's just like all neurotic about no meat. So regardless if it's right or wrong, I don't actually care. I like the fact that she has these principles and she's values and she's thinking about it. You know what I mean, guys? She's thinking about it.
That's a great, I love that too, brother. That's great shit. One thing that I would say, father to father, is just, I would just do a little research on the, I guess you'd say, additional problems that the vegan human has.
Yes.
Especially for a growing person to keep this, there's a lot of things that a vegan's not going to get, which then obviously causes a negative side effect. So, I know that you know all this, but
it's funny because me and Lorna, and so it's great because Laura and I are talking as much about just like she's 8. Right. And is this going to be a forever? And you know what she said? She goes, I'm going to do this for 2 years and I'm going to decide when I'm 10 Like, again, this awareness, right? Whether I still want to be one, right? So, but I just love her thought process, right? Like, she's thinking about it, analyzing it, asking questions about it. And you're right, Johnny. And, and she's got her whole life ahead of her to make different decisions and so forth, right? And we'll just keep educating her. But I like that there's this 8-year-old just like, no, these are my values. I'm like, holy fuck, man. You want to be on the show and teach others this? Because there's a lot of 40, 50-year-old guys like us that could not hold it. They wouldn't know this.
Well, the thing about it with her, like you said, her values, as she continues to look deeper into this, my gut tells me that her values will start to shift because she's committed, but she's committed to doing what she believes is right.
Yes.
And as she learns more, she may realize that maybe that's not right, but she's still committed to what's right.
Yes. Yes, exactly.
And if she has discipline now, she can carry that to other areas of her life. So this is a great start for her before 10.
Isn't that true? Hey, Marty, like if you have this discipline now at 8 and you're asking these questions that probably most 8-year-olds aren't asking, you're like, all right, you're going to maybe be asking some good questions later on in life, right? So, which is
and now I'll tell you that right there, you give a person discipline early in their journey, that creature will pretty much do whatever the fuck they want. I can remember having flutters of discipline as a preteen, like like fleeting moments. Like I would have it for a day and then just completely lose it. And it was I remember what I was doing, the things that I would accomplish when I had that discipline. I was like, fuck, this is amazing shit. I just couldn't hold it together.
Yeah, it's interesting. Jack Dugan comes in and says, he's like, my son won't eat meat either. He feels bad eating animals. He's such a good kid. He needs to be consuming protein. Well, it's funny, eh, Jack? Because it's that balance we have with our children, which is, maybe there is some eat animals. We're all eating some flesh, as Johnny would say. So flesh is good for us. At some point, Brooke, I love you, Brooks. You're going to love that flesh too as time goes on. So
she'll come around. She'll change her mind.
She'll change her mind to getting some flesh in her body as well. So, hey, so I want to have some fun here as we, I don't know. So Marty, do you got to wrap up here in 3 minutes?
In a couple minutes. Yeah, but go ahead. Do what you got to do. I'll leave after. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So I wanted to have some fun with this here too, because we don't talk about, others don't talk about. So I wanted to throw this on the table for some quick humor today. Topic is, for the most part, always spoken about for females, and it's around sex toys. Yet I found this article today, which is an expert's guide to the best male pleasure gadgets. Jack Dugan, ears perk up there, brother. But because the world always talks about sex toys for women, but what about sex toys for men? So I found this little story here yesterday, and I'm going to pull this up here. Jimmy, I'm pulling it up on the screen here, my friend. It is so. Let me just see here.
Go ahead.
We got a few of them here. So the best sex toys for men. The best overall sex toy for men is the Lilo FS V3, which is essentially a high-end pleasure device that combines powerful sensations with cutting-edge technology. Essentially, it's an app-controlled masturbator featuring dual motors, 10 sensors, waterproof quality, and it will essentially replicate a vagina or a mouth so that men can have a wonderful pleasurable device that is waterproof as well. And according to the New York Post, this was the best sex toy for men. Some other ones were as Tenga eggs. Now, these are single use, and they may be too small for some users, but for those that are looking to dip their toes into the world of male sex toys without breaking the bank, the Tenga eggs are ways to go. These compact egg-shaped masturbators come in a variety of internal textures and are perfect for both solo and partner play. So I really don't, admittedly, boys, I don't know how these work. I don't know how you hold an egg in your hand and masturbate with an egg in your hand, but apparently these Tenga eggs are good for that. And then there's the Handy, which is a remote controlled device as well, which is like a masturbator. You insert the penis into the shaft and it does the stroking for you. And then this is one too, which made the list this year, which is the WeVibe Verge app controlled rechargeable vibrating cock ring. So And one of the things, boys, that I found on all these products is they're all controlled by an app. So we are now in a world, Johnny, where your sex toy can be controlled by your partner or by an app on your phone. So you put the cock ring on the shaft, you boot up the app, and it has 10 vibration modes. It's waterproof. Jimmy's typing away here. I know just Jimmy's leaning into this conversation, boys. I could just see him fucking typing away there in the Philippines, waiting to get this text out to me. But we got the app controlled cock ring, and then we got the B-Vibe rim, the B-Vibe rimming plug. So this is one where this might be too intense for beginners, but if you're into anal play, the butt plug for men is a rimming butt plug. There's actually no app for this one, boys. This is the one on the list that didn't have an app attached to it, but it's waterproof. It's got a rechargeable battery, but it is one of those ones where it's good for Jimmy. Are we getting a sponsor for these toys? Yes. And then this was one which was quite fascinating to me too, which was the unisex strap-on harness kit. So if you're into role playing with your partner, again, this is one of those toys where it might not be suitable for advanced users, but this is a situation where you might want your partner to strap on the Love Honey Beginners unisex strap-on harness, and there's 2 dildo sizes included, high quality silicone, comfortable harness. And then here's the best long distance one, boys, which is the Love.
Jesus Christ, how long does this list go here?
This is it. This is the last one. This is the one. This is the Love Sense Max 2. It can sync with your partner's toy, multiple vibrators. So Johnny, you could have one. Terry could have one. You guys could have the apps out on the bed, and you all could have playtime with these devices, and everybody's having a good old time. It could be like Disneyland in the bedroom with sex toys. And this one, of course, is by Love Honey. So we'll continue having conversations like this around great sex toys that can help men's lives in the bedroom. But I thought that was a fun little discussion to have on the table this morning. I knew Dugan was just going to go, holy fuck, these guys are having this conversation this morning. Oh yeah, for sure. So, but listen, we're always talking about female sex toys. I have found, John and Marty, ever since like apps have come out, there's just been this push to more male sex toys, it seems like. So there you go.
Oh goodness. I'll tell you, I'm
speechless.
I was unaware that a lot of that stuff even existed.
Insane.
Oh yeah. Hey, we know Marty. Johnny's from the era of the fax machine, right? And all that. So so Johnny's from the natural penis. He's like, no, we don't need anything plastic or silicone. Just need the real penis. That's all we need in my world.
Shit, I'm from that era too.
Well, I had a buddy of mine. This is way back when. I had a buddy of mine that had one of these. Like it was like I don't know what you'd call it. I guess it was like a fucking pelvic area with a hole. It was like a thing and he would hump this thing. I'm like, dude, you're a sick bastard, man. Why don't you take that energy and go find a fucking willing partner, for Christ's sake? They
got the
go ahead.
I was gonna say they got the booty ones too.
Yes.
It's just like the booty.
It's not
and you hump on it.
It's bizarre, man.
Jesus.
Like I've seen every now and then because part of my job here is to read news stories to find out fun content for us to fucking talk about. Well, there's from time to time I'll find a story where some guy's coming into Canada or the US and customs has arrested the dude because in his suitcase is like a silicone body, like either an ass or a vagina, which is like that they go put onto the bed and they.
Why are you traveling with that?
I know that's.
Well, you can go to whatever city or country and there's real ass there. You ever
Hey,
bring
Marty.
a fake ass on the plane when there's real ass there?
What, sir? Yes. Why do you have a torso in your suitcase? Why do you have an ass in your suitcase?
Yeah, man. We're cooked. We're cooked. I mean, we're done.
Oh,
I mean,
man. Hey,
people with common sense, it's just going to be scarce. It's going to be like 2% of us.
yeah.
Everyone else is gone. We're far gone. You traveling with ass? Oh, man.
Well, and you can now just, if we are fully cooked, bro, you're absolutely right, B2A. Well, the thing is, Marty and Johnny, you can just buy like the rump, or you can just buy the head, or you can just buy like the vagina. Like you can actually buy just these parts of the humans that you can go and, pardon my expression, fuck it. It's just weird.
But to have the desire to want to do that in another city, like, yeah, I'm gonna bring the ass with me after my work meeting. Like, What the fuck?
Packing the silicone ass into
What the
suit.
fuck is wrong with us, man? Like, we're done. We are done. I've seen it all and I've heard it all. Oh,
yeah,
man.
far too much energy being put into, basically fake ass.
Yes,
put that energy into actually having a willing partner.
That's a good way to wrap up our Friday loop here this morning with the boys. Marty, yes,
man. I was just like travel ass. I'm baffled. Hold on, I can't get over this shit. Travel ass. This is crazy.
Travel ass on
You
mornings
know
in the
what? They
lab.
deserve to get arrested. They got exactly what they deserve. That's fucking crazy.
Oh, Marty. Well, listen, brother. Oh, man, that's a good one. What do you got on the agenda today, Mr. Christopher Martin? What's going on for you today, pal?
Get some work done, man, and working out. And it's Friday. Oh, we got podcast tonight. So.
Oh, nice. Oh, yeah.
Johnny, you want to drop in a podcast tonight, Johnny?
What's that?
You want to drop in the podcast tonight, Johnny?
I got my family here, brother.
Oh,
so
yeah. Okay.
Noon,
okay.
By noon, I'm pulling this baby out of gear.
No,
hey!
You're right.
Hey, before Marty got to go, how did the workout go with the young punk yesterday? How did it go with your little son, with the perhaps son-in-law? You guys, it was yesterday.
Oh, yeah. How did it go, Johnny?
He postponed it. He wants to do it tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
Nope.
Hey, Marty, we know.
You gotta get mentally ready for Johnny. He's like, fuck, Johnny.
No, we know.
Ass.
I'm going to start on Saturday. John's like, what the fuck, man? No, we're starting today. No, I'm going to start on Saturday.
Yo, I can see Johnny just being just so patient. Johnny's ready for him now. Now Johnny's adding more shit to the workout because he postponed it, I bet.
Yeah.
My thing is this: if you want to come along for the workout, you just got to do what I do. That's as simple as that.
Yeah. No, I'm with you, Johnny. I'm with you 1,000%.
As soon as I see the blood in the water, that's when it gets fun.
Let's fucking go. Yeah. I would do the same shit.
Hey, Marty, you can see the call to his daughter, eh? What? He wants to wait to start till Sunday? What the fuck? You got to get yourself a new partner because you should be starting today, damn it. Your dad's ready to go right now.
I'll tell you, over my life,
we don't wait in our family to start tomorrow or next week. We go now.
I've had so many partners that have come and gone. There's zero. Somebody says, "Oh, I don't want to do it." I've heard that so many times. They're going to say that's going to surprise me with that shit.
That's right. That's right. Well, here's the thing, Johnny. They don't want to start today. You know, somebody does want to start today, right? So there's always somebody who doesn't want to do what you want to do, and that's what we like to have. That's the kind of fun we have here. So, all right, Marty. I know you got to rock and roll. Johnny, you rock and roll as well, pal. Yeah.
I'm sorry, a little echo. What was that?
Sorry, I know Marty's got a rock and roll. Do you got a rock and roll as well, Johnny? I'm gonna do the creator spotlight before I wrap up today's show.
Yeah, I gotta jump too. So I gotta use this time to get all my shit done before my ladies wake up.
Go get your shit done, Marty. You go get your shit done as well, brother. I appreciate you both. Yep. We'll catch up over the weekend and we'll resume the loop in Monday.
Sounds good, man. Hey, have a good
rest
of the day,
baby.
Man. I'll see you, Johnny.
Awesome, boys. All right.
Have a good loop, everyone.
Yep.
All right, guys. We'll see you later. Yeah, for sure. All right, Jimmy. Let's keep it rolling, my friend. The sultry sounds of the acoustics. Jimmy, that was fun, man. Hey, that was a good couple segments there today on today's show. Yeah, talking about let's just see, Jimmy. Over this last year, we've talked about meat in the pocket. We've talked about heated almonds next to the ball sack. We've talked about eels in the ass, plugged by the lemon. What else we talked about, Jimmy? We've talked about women who've slept with hundreds of men or thousands of men. We've talked about multiple vaginas. We've talked about multiple penises. What else have we talked about, Dugan? We tend to cover the whole spectrum of conversations here on Mornings in Lab with Keith and Friends. The only morning show, man, to help you guys get rolling. We talk about life expectancy work on this show. You're wondering, what is that? Well, we know that if we're having more sex with our partner's living longer. So if you want your partner to live long, have sex with them. Yeah, that's what we subscribe to and promote and emphasize here on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. There's no harm in that. Okay. It's this point where I'm going to be pulling up a link to get into the Creator Spotlight. Just going to pull it up here on my screen. There it is right there. So, we do this part of the show where we find somebody over on LinkedIn and say, hey, I like the work that they're doing. I like what they're putting out there. I like the kind of content that they're creating. I like the conversations that they're creating. I like the influence that they're having on the platform. And then we do a little bit of analysis of their content. We do a little bit of looking around at that content. Hey, B2 Wave, I appreciate you, man. Thanks for subscribing to our channel. Tell your buddies and tell your friends, come hang out with us on the show. We do this every single day in a little bit of morning radio here on YouTube. But we're in the Creator Spotlight there, B2, and this is where we like to celebrate humans. And we are going to celebrate a fellow who's predictable, repeatable pathway to profit for small business with an operating system to give you back time. Yeah, that's what this guy does. He's from Fayetteville, Arkansas. Or is it Arkansas? Arkansas, United States. Fayetteville, yeah. He's an outside cat, and he always will be. He loves meeting other outside cats, too, that forage for food and make their way. And when he was 32, he took a leap forward, and he created his first company. By the time he was 40, nation, he sold it for 6 times the initial investment. Then the dude bought another business, but something was missing. So he sold it, exited the business at 2.5 times in just 3 years. That's when, nation, he realized what he truly wanted. He wanted to help small businesses succeed on their terms, authentically. That's how Growth Guidance was born. Oh, there's the reveal. So today, Mornings at 11 with Keith and Friends is excited to celebrate. Jimmy, we're going to get her going, brother. Today, we are celebrating Mornings at 11 with Keith and Friends. This fellow with my buttons getting all organized so that Felix can do the cut properly. Brian O'Connell. There he is. Brian O'Connell. Grow your revenue past $1 million and beyond predictably and reliably without stress. Get a free book and profit roadmap from Brian O'Connell, where he's going to help you grow your business with predictable, repeatable pathway to profit for small business with an operating system. Brian, I'm just coughing up my lung here, with an operating system to give you back time. Listen, who doesn't want time back? Who does not want time back? Honestly, if you can honestly answer you don't want time back, then turn the channel, go listen to somebody else. But if you want time back, and hey, to my friends on Substack, if you want time back, you got to connect with Brian O'Connell. Brian O'Connell is going to help you and your business with the operating system to give you back time. So there you go, Brian. We're celebrating you today, my friend. And I'm going to quickly go through your feed here, check out his activity. And he talks about how to build a team that doesn't text you 10 times per hour. He also talks about if you're waiting for the day your business is on autopilot and so forth. Brian O'Connell is the guy to help you take your business to the next level and get some time back. So, Brian, we're celebrating you here today, Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. And here's how it works, my friend. We want to have you here on this show. Yes, we want to invite you here because I suspect there's somebody in your orbit. There's somebody in your circle that you're like, oh, yeah, they're doing some great work. I want to celebrate them. Okay. Bring them to the show. Bring them to Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends, and we're going to celebrate them. We're going to celebrate the great work that we're doing. So there you have it, Brian. There you have it, Jimmy. Brian O'Connell, Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends for today's Creator Spotlight. Okay, so speaking of Creator Spotlight, I'm going to go on a little rant here for just a quick, maybe 2 minutes or so. I just feel like I have to. I don't know. Just kind of feeling like I want to. So I think I'm going to. So I saw this morning, good social platform, Favicon, whatever you want to call it, promoting all the great influencers. What's up, Fontana? Good to see you, brother. Promoting all the great influencers on the platform. But where I struggle with the list of all the great influencers across LinkedIn platform from this company, that so many of them are fake. Some of them are pods. Some of them are misleading. And that's struggling to me because we like to look at vanity metrics and suspect that they're real when the reality is there's more fakery happening behind the scenes. So I'm just going to invite you, nation, as you're looking at people across multiple platforms, whether it's Instagram, whether it's LinkedIn, whether it's X, whether it's wherever you are, recognize that most of it is probably not real. And what I mean by that is most of the followers, most of the engagement is probably not real. Yeah. So if you want to get caught up, I keep going on this one. I was talking to a dude yesterday. He's like, oh yeah, viral. I'm like, yeah, what did you get from that? Oh, nothing, but I got 3 million people saw my video. Yeah, what did you get for it? Oh, 3 million people saw it. Well, that's great. I got a store, 3 million people. Hey, Fontana, I got a store. I got a great location. 3 million people drove by my store today. Joel's question to Keith, how many people stopped in and bought? Well, fuck, nobody did. But they all drove by and saw my store. Hey, and tomorrow, 10 million people drove by my store today. Hey, but Keith, how many stopped and bought? Oh, nobody. Oh, but 10 million saw it. Hey, Joe, I got 20 million people saw my store today. Hey, Keith, how many bought? No, none. Nobody bought. Oh, so what's the point? The point is, what the hell's the fucking point of a viral video if nobody's buying from you? Nation, the last time I checked, Visa, MasterCard, or Amex don't take vanity metrics to pay the bill. The last time I checked, money pays the bill. So get all the vanity you want. Get all those vanity metrics you want. But if you're not paying the bills, it doesn't make no fucking difference. So there you go. There's my truth bomb for you guys today. Okay, so listen, time for me to get out of here. I'm going to go and get on with my day so that you guys can get on with your day. And Jimmy can get on with his day. And Walter can get on with his day. Melissa can get on with his day, her day. And we all can get on with our days. We'll be back here on Monday, Mornings at the Lab with Keith and friends. We're going to get into the new year next week. Yeah. Jeremy, if you're waking up, you missed your segment. We'll see you in the feeds. Jimmy, let's get out of here, brother. Let's get to work. B2 Wavy, where are you, brother? I appreciate you joining me on the show here today. I appreciate you subscribing. And listen, I know that you have a lot of choices to put your time and attention somewhere. The fact that you hung out with us for a number of minutes today, I have nothing but love, respect, and appreciation for that. And I just really want to say thank you, because you could go spend your time elsewhere, but you chose to spend it with me and Marty and John. And man, I don't take that decision very lightly. So thank you so much. You have a great weekend. And come back and hang out with us again, okay, B2? We'll see you next week. And you can find me on LinkedIn, Instagram. Well, not really much Instagram. Find me on LinkedIn, Keith Bilous. And you can find me here Monday to Friday, 8 o'clock Eastern time. Mornings at the Lab with Keith and friends. Let's get out of here, Jimmy. Let's do it.